Hi guys, I'm Yasmin and this is Nadia, and today we're going to be talking about what our shadow is and how to identify it. So what is your shadow? So your shadow is a part or a piece of yourself, whether it's your past experiences or your emotions, your beliefs or your feelings that you think are not acceptable or you think other people won't find acceptable, so you push them to the side, reject them and suppress them. So for example, you may have an emotion such as anger or sadness which you think is not acceptable to feel, or you shouldn't be feeling, or you think if you express it or have that emotion other people will reject you or not accept you for it. So when you feel that emotion, rather than bringing it to the open and turning towards it and trying to learn from it, you will reject it, push it to the side, turn away from it and just try and get rid of it. Sometimes your shadow can be a past experience or a childhood trauma that you experienced many years ago, but you've pushed it away and suppressed it for so long that you can't even recall it in your conscious mind anymore because it's constantly being pushed aside and suppressed. Yeah, and I think another way to see it, and another way that it's defined, is the shadow is defined as the dark side of humanity, or your dark side, the faces you don't want to show to the world, or the parts of your personality that you don't accept due to guilt and shame. So how do we develop these shadows? So when we're born and we're babies, we are born with a completely healthy emotional system. And so we don't judge, we don't even know how to judge, we don't know what's right and wrong, what's good and bad. We know how to love and accept ourselves and others unconditionally and just accept everything the way it is. But what happens is, as we start to grow, society, our parents, our schools try and teach us what's right and wrong and what's acceptable and not about us. So this is where we become really vulnerable to rejecting ourselves. An example of this might be when you're a child and say for example your parent comes home from work and they've had a really bad day at work and they're not really in a good mood, and you want to show them and you express your love and affection towards them, and because they've had a bad day and they're not really in the mood to be around you at that time, for example, or they've got other things on their mind, so they don't take that love and affection in a positive way. They might say to you, oh, let's spend time together later, or they might just sort of brush off your love and affection because they've had such a bad day and you don't know that's why. And you might see that as, when I show my love and affection, it's rejected. This is a part of me that is not accepted by my parent or by anyone. So I'm going to suppress that part of myself. I'm not going to show that love and affection. And then that basically becomes your shadow. And now we're going to be talking about the problems that arise when we have shadows, because the shadows can cause a lot of issues in our lives. So the problem with having shadows is that when we deny or reject parts of our personalities, what we're doing is sending internal messages to ourselves that there's something wrong with us, that we're not acceptable, or there's something not quite right, we're not enough. And if we continuously hide our shadows and send ourselves these messages internally, we will start to believe them. We'll start to believe we're not acceptable, we're not lovable and we're not worthy. And when we do that, when we start to feel unworthy and we're not deserving of things like the next job or the the relationship or the house that we want or the education that we want, we end up not even trying to achieve the things that we want in our lives because we feel that we're not deserving of them, and that we feel that we're not worthy to achieve them, and we feel that we can't because we're just not good enough for those things. And what this basically means is that we self-sabotage. So self-sabotage is usually when we unconsciously ruin things for ourselves because we just feel that we're not good enough for them. So you can identify if you're self-sabotaging. If you are someone who is really trying to, and has always tried to make changes in their life, but they keep on making the same mistake or reaching the same hurdle, or you keep on trying to make these changes but you are getting to the same place each time despite really trying to make changes in your life, it's likely that your shadow is in control. It's likely that it's your shadows that's holding you back from where you want to be, because the shadow keeps you repeating the same negative patterns, and what's happening is you're living your life through your conditioning and through your programming. So we need to embrace all aspects of ourselves and our shadow so we can actually make permanent long-term changes and overcome our conditioning. So now we're going to take you through an activity that can help you identify your shadows. So we're going to say a few sentences, and when we say our part of the sentence, we want you to immediately complete the sentence with the first thing that comes to your mind. So, the thing I tend to keep most hidden about myself is... What I am most afraid of someone finding out about me is... The biggest lie I have told myself or someone else is... What I am most scared of expressing in my relationship is. So that activity should have given you some indication of what your shadows are. Now, it can be very uncomfortable answering these questions, and that is why we're so tempted all the time to suppress and reject them, and because we have done it for so long. But it's so important that we start looking and turning towards these feelings and emotions and these things that we keep suppressing, because if we don't, they will stay a part of our shadow. And if we don't bring light to them or integrate them with who we are, then they'll keep holding us back. Shortly, we're going to be doing future videos on how to actually do shadow work and how to deal with them, so that you can start to make the changes you want in your life and stop holding yourself back. That's it, guys. We hope you found this video helpful. If you did like it, please like, share, subscribe and comment. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.